Program 6. Putting it all together. Would you describe yourself as an organized person? Do you have a place for everything and everything in its place? Or do you arrange things in a more random manner? What about your thinking? Would you describe that as organized? It's quite hard to know how to answer that question. Most of the time, thinking just happens, so it's difficult for us to be aware of it. However, now that you've spent some time paying attention to how other people think, trying to spot when they were diverging and converging, you'll probably have noticed that we don't always solve problems in the most organized way, and we certainly don't all solve problems in the same way. You probably saw people jumping between creating ideas, collecting facts, arguing about whether an idea would work, and maybe even rushing off to start working on something. But that's enough about other people. Let's look at how you solve problems. Think back to a recent problem which you solved. Try to remember what actually happened and write down the steps you think you took in order to solve the problem. If you want, you can draw it out as a sort of route map, showing how you got from the problem to the solution. Restart this program when you think your map is about right. Okay, you should now have your problem-solving map in front of you, and it's a very important document. The fact is that having all the problem-solving skills in the world isn't much use to you unless you also have a map showing how to use them. Now, everyone must have a map in their heads because we all solve problems, but we usually aren't aware of how we do it. This lack of awareness can lead to two problems. First, it's easy to get distracted by whatever seems to be the most important thing at the time, which means you may not end up following your own plan effectively. Second, it can be hard to explain your plan to other people. They have their own plans which may not look quite like yours, and that can lead to conflicts. So having a map is a good thing. But is it the best map, or are there better ones out there? Well, there's been a lot of research on this topic over the last 60 years, and the researchers found that there is a process which works very well. The key steps are, first, clarify the problem. Second, generate some ideas to solve the problem. Third, develop the best solution. And fourth, implement your solution. Now, we think you'll agree that this is a very straightforward process. In fact, your process probably looked remarkably similar, and that's great. But if all our processes look so similar, what's so clever about this one? Well, the answer is it's all about building in divergence and convergence. If we were to ask people where they thought the creativity happened in this process, most of them would point to the idea generation stage, and they'd be right. We use our creative skills at that point, and we use them in every other stage as well. Confused? Okay, let's explore this further. Let's take the first stage in the plan, clarifying the problem. In order to understand a problem, you have to explore it. Typically, this means you make a list of all the facts and then highlight the really important ones which help to define the issue. Sound familiar? It should do. It's simply diverging and converging. But this time, it's all about facts rather than ideas. And of course, that leads us to the idea stage. Once you understand what the problem is, you can diverge to generate ideas, and then converge to decide which ones might be worth taking further. Developing the best solution works in the same way. You explore the various ways ideas could be made into possible solutions, and then pick the best one. Finally, in the implementation stage, you'll diverge to think about all the ways in which you might implement your solution, and then converge to pick the best approach. So diverging and converging happen at every stage of this process, and that's what makes this particular map so much more effective than the alternatives. However, there's a really important point which we must not forget. You may remember in the previous program we emphasized the importance of separating divergence and convergence, not breathing in and out at the same time. Well, that rule applies in every stage of your plan. For example, when you're clarifying the problem, you must delay your judgment and explore the facts. Then, when you have enough information, apply your judgment in a positive way and make choices to narrow down your list. It's incredibly simple and yet very powerful. If you can really become good at following the map and managing your divergence and convergence, you will be amazed at the effect it has on your problem-solving skills, and also your ability to work with others. The rest of this series is going to take these steps and show you how you can improve your ability in each one of them. For today, what we want you to do is to try applying them to at least one problem. It doesn't have to be a big problem. It could be as simple as deciding what to eat tonight or planning your journey home from work. The key point is that we want you to consciously think about the facts, then the ideas, then development, and finally action. And remember to separate divergence and convergence. See you in the next program.